Nexxlegacy.
I want to take this time and welcome everybody because we all have access, right? This is all legacy access. I am branded in the house tonight, not just tonight, but all nights going forward. We're about to have some fun, not just to end 2015, but to turn 2016 into a memorable media radio moment where we have not just guests, but also interactions from everybody that calls in. You can dial in and support the show. You can listen online, and this is brought to you by CBSRadio.com as well. I'm here. I'm ready to have fun. Listen to classic songs from, like, not just the OJs, but just a lot of people that I literally grew up with through parents, through so many people in every walk of life. It's just an honor and a privilege to be able to have, you know, a legendary guy to be able to talk music with. And let me see if I have him plugged in right here. And let me see if his mic is on, Mr. Eric Nolan of the OJs, live on All Legacy Access. Are we good? We're gonna try to see if we can get him plugged in, but looks like he was here. We're gonna try to see what we can do going forward. But I'm just looking forward to it. We're about to have some fun, and I just want to make sure that I take the time to just thank everybody for listening in. Been waiting for a lot of Nexxlegacy love. I'm just so privileged just to be able to just kind of give y'all just some ones and twos as far as what we got going on. So we here, we dialed in, we're about to have a lot of fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the love train on, and we're going to go ahead and get my man, Mr. Eric Nolan of the OJs, back here on All Legacy. And welcome everybody, not just in the States. Y'all know the routine. We do this Nexxlegacy thing, not just for 8 years, but we definitely make sure we provide and give everybody all the satisfaction that I feel like a radio station should give. Good interviews, good interaction with the people, and that's what we're going to do going forward. Getting ready to end 2015, going strong into the next year, and just making sure that we provide everybody with not just that good feeling, that good vibe, but also just some classic moments in music history, classic interviews, and just have the kind of guests that I feel like the people need. Like, when it comes to the history of the OJs, I feel like, you know, my mama and my grandmama and everybody kind of helped me evolve and grow up, and the music that the OJs provided for us, not just back then, but now to this day, still withstands the test of time, just for the simple fact that when you have good music, you cannot throw it away. It will never go away. It will stand forever as iconic music and music that will give good memories and good moments. It might make you cry, or, you know, it might make you feel a certain way, or it might make you feel good, but at the end of it all, like, I just feel like it's a beautiful look. And I want to welcome Mr. Eric Nolan of the OJs onto All Legacy Access. Sir.
Young man.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Man, come on. You know, it's an honor and a privilege to be able to be in the presence of you, Mr. Nolan. Welcome to All Legacy Access for the very first time. Glad to have you here.
Oh, man, I'm glad to be here, man. This is an honor for me. You know what I mean? Because I was something like you when I heard you when I heard the way you were speaking about the OJs. I think that you know, before I became a member, I was the same way. I was the exact same way, man. And when I got the call to be one of the OJs, I couldn't believe it. I thought somebody was playing a joke on me. I really did. I thought Gerald is a practical joker like that. And I thought he was messing with my head because he knew how much I loved the OJs. So I thought he was messing with me. You know what I mean? So I didn't take it serious. I didn't take it serious at first until I actually went there and Ed and Walt was right there. Like, sing something. I'm like, what are you supposed to do when they say sing something?
And I know you probably didn't have, like, I mean, come on now, you're a singer, so you probably was ready, but just the simple fact that it was Mr. Gerald Levert himself, and just that whole, like, I know it was just kind of, okay, let me go ahead and figure out what I'm going to do, right?
Well, Gerald, Gerald and I've been knowing Gerald since he was 14. So Gerald and I was like best of friends. We were like brothers. But being in front of Eddie Levert and Walter Williams, it wasn't. I don't even think that it wasn't that I wasn't prepared. I think what it was is that, what do you sing?
Right.
You know, do you disrespect them and sing some Temptations? Do you sing some OJ? Do you be corny? You know what I'm saying? Do you be corny and sing some OJs? Like what can you sing? You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know what to do. So I was like, well, maybe we could sing something together. No, we can't sing nothing together. I was like, oh man. So I did a little bit of actually that's what I did. I did a little bit of Can I did a little bit of Ooh Baby Baby. And then they did some songs, and I asked them what note they wanted me to take, and I took the top note on some of the stuff. You know, we did Used to Be My Girl. We did For the Love of Money. You know, we did Love Train. And I knew the songs verbatim. I knew them. I'm an OJ fan, so I knew all the songs. I knew the lyrics. I knew what notes I was supposed to sing. I knew all that. So I still wasn't a shoe-in. I still wasn't, I still didn't make it, you know what I mean? I still had to go to Charlie Atkins for the choreography and all of that stuff, you know what I mean? So it was a 2-year situation. You know, I didn't have to say that I was in the OJs for 2 years. So
you had to pay your dues more or less, right? You had to continue to put in the work.
It's like a frat, you know what I mean? You know, you have to, it's like when you get on the football team, they make you go get the donuts and they pull practical jokes on you and like, and it's like on the tour bus, I was the last one to get my bunk. They didn't, like we got a valet who takes our clothes and stuff to our room. Take our suitcases to our room and stuff. They didn't take mine. They didn't take mine. I had to carry my own luggage. But what they didn't know was that coming up in the hood with two other brothers, we had bunk beds. And by me being the oldest of the three, I always had the top bunk. So when we were on the tour bus, when everybody got their bunks, they always left me the top bunk. So I was at home. I didn't feel like they did anything wrong. I'm like, thank you, because I was going to take the top bunk anyway.
So, Eric, because of you had the history with the bunks, you really didn't mind having that top one there, right, Eric? You were good.
Right. I was good. And the other thing they didn't know is that they give you what they call a per diem. They give you money to eat with. I'm like, whoa. Past my salary, you give me money to eat with too? And I'm a bologna potato chip guy. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Okay.
I'm cool with that. You give me a couple of dollars so I can eat with every day? Oh, bro, this is sweet. You know what I mean?
That was music heaven, and you were right, Eric. You were doing what you wanted to do, right? You were in the group.
I was doing
and you were and I love it. I
was doing exactly what I wanted to do, man. If I didn't have bills that I had to pay, and eat, I would I would do it for free. Because I just love being on stage. I just love singing. And then to be able to sing with two of the greatest entertainers, you know what I'm saying, of everybody's time, along with people like the Temptations and the Whisperers and all of those cats, I get a chance to be just that one guy to sing with these two guys, these two legends. I'm in a whole nother stratosphere. You know what I'm saying?
It's an amazing journey, and I'm sure you're going to continue to push. Eric Nolan is our guest on All Legacy Access, and I'm glad we have so many people listening. Just not just fans of you, Eric, and the OJs, but also so many people from across the globe. Like, they love the moments that you guys provide. And I know you guys are touring like crazy right now. And, and we're going to talk about your solo single, Cologne, which is getting a lot of good reviews, too. Like, if anybody that's online that's been logged in, this man has a solo. Man, how do you do it? Like, you're doing solo music and you're doing OJ's music. I mean, as far as all the work you're putting in, like, tell the people just, like, how do you maintain that work ethic, man?
It's priorities. The OJs are my priority. That's first and foremost. Nothing comes before them. So as long as you can set things up to where you have your priorities in order, and not think you're bigger than the actual company, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can. You can never be bigger than Chrysler. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You might do some stuff on your own, but you ain't gonna be bigger than Chrysler. So I just know that the OJs that's my mainstay. Now, doing the Eric Nolan project, I usually do that when I'm off. I usually, like, if we have we have a low, you know what I'm saying, I got 3 or 4 weeks off. I built my own studio, so I went and I went into this office space and I gutted the office space and I built me a studio. So I'm able to cut whenever I want to, however long I want to. I can stay in there for 4 or 5 days, won't nobody know. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
so
I usually grind, and I put my OJ suit up, put my OJ's hat up, and I'm no longer an OJ. And now I'm just I'm just Eric grind guy.
Amen to that.
You know what I'm
Amen
saying?
to that.
I'm in grind mode. So that's how I do it. I just put things in perspective. I put things in their proper lane. You know what I'm saying?
When it comes, Eric, and when it comes to just not just the the solo music, but also the touring and things like that too, and and we come from that era of not only do we appreciate the music of the OJs, and you mentioned Temptations, you mentioned the Whispers, just everybody with the the harmonizing the sounds, the steps, everything that kind of comes into of age, and a lot of people may call it retro, but it's timeless in to a fact that everybody wants to see that when you guys go on stage. So when you do your performances with the OJs, like, just kind of walk the listeners through as far as just the work ethic that you guys put out there to be able to get your choreography done, your music, and everybody harmonizing on cue, because it does take a lot of hard work, though, right?
Yes, sir. First of all, we take the first thing first. We go to Las Vegas every year, and we call it shedding. We shed for 60 days. We go to rehearsal 6 days a week. We only have an off day. Sunday is our only off day. We rehearse 6 to 8 hours a day on putting the show together to where it's walking and breathing, where it's second nature. We do it until it becomes second nature, like you could just do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where there's no guesswork. We have what we call vocal rehearsal, where it's just me, Eddie, Walter, and our piano player. And so we'll get together for about 3 weeks to a month, and we'll just do all vocals. No choreography, no band, no nothing, just piano and us. And we just make sure the notes are right, everything is tight, the harmony is tight, and so that, we do that. And then our MD takes the music that we worked out with him to the band, and he rehearsed the band while we get with Charlie Atkins, the choreographer, and we do our routine and all that stuff with him, and then we put everything together for 2 weeks, and we just have band and singer rehearsal for 2 straight weeks, and then we go on the road. We do that every year. We go to Vegas because it takes us away from our family. It takes us from any extractions, any thing that can bother us. You know what I mean? So we're just in that mode. You dig what I'm saying? And after that, man, these two guys all we do is laugh. We laugh every day. We laugh and joke and laugh if you were to come past our dressing room, you would probably knock on our dressing door and say, man, what is so funny? Because
like
we always
the biggest laughter.
Those two guys, man.
Right.
Yes, man. And it makes them a good show because we go on stage in tears. We be like laughing and we've been thought about the stuff and we go on stage so happy that it resonates to the audience.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically how we get through this, man. I've learned to be friends with those guys, man. But I've also learned to be friends with those guys. But I've always had respect for those guys because they're still my elder, and they're still full of knowledge. They still have so much knowledge that I'm always feeling. I'm always picking their brains, and I'm always asking them questions, and I'm always, so I'm still in school, and after 20 years of being with these guys, I'm still learning from these guys.
Right.
I haven't been in the group long enough to get enough knowledge from them. And I've been with them 20 years. I'm the longest third member of the OJs ever.
That's right.
Sammy Strange did 16 years. Sammy did 16, and William Powell, he didn't get a chance to do, he did like 11 years before he passed. And I'm the longest member. So, and I still haven't got all of what I want from them.
But you know what, and that comes as a testament, and Eric, that's a testament to the work that you still want to continue to do because, when you do, and you talked about the history and the legacy of the OJs and learning from these greats and just being a part of that, you being the longest third member of this group is a testament to what you want to do with yourself and how you want to continue to push on and do it. And let me ask you this because, I know a lot of people out there are listening and people have so many memories of, the songs of Forever Minds and the Love Trains and Used to Be My Girls and, and all that good stuff. And when you think about just groups in general, not just the groups that we all grew up with, but also the lack of groups nowadays in today's music, what's the difference that you take away from, the music that we grew up with versus what you see today and just blending it all in to try to still make it not just relevant but educational for the younger people who, don't know the history like they should?
I think that's what it is. You just hit the nail on the head. It's not knowing the history. It's not honing your craft, not knowing where it comes from. See, I know that, I went back as far as the Drifters. I deliberately went back as far as the Drifters and the Ink Spots. At first, my gauge was the Dales and, the OJs and Temptations, and as I got deeper into it, I wanted to know where did they get it from. So I went back to the Cadillacs, the Ink Spots, the Drifters, and all of those cats, the Coasters and all of them, to see where did Eddie and them get it from. You know what I mean? So I think that what happens now is that the younger generation don't go back deep enough. I think their history is Boys to Men or New Edition, and even though those people are pretty good, that's not a true testament as to where this comes from. You know what I mean? Nowadays it's such a assembly line now that there's no artist development. There's no way to get to your next meal if you either hit or miss. If you get a hit record, then you got a hit record, and we're going to milk that hit record out of you, and we're going to get as much as we can out of you until we can't get it no more. And now you're not able to give that to us anymore. You're done. On to the next one. We need a 19-year-old now. We need somebody now. You're 26 years old. You're 27 years old. You're old in the business. Eddie and Walt didn't get their first hit till they was 33. Backstabbers, when they got Backstabbers, they was 33 years of age. And there's no artist development. There's no teaching them how to get to their next meal when the hits stop coming. Charlie Atkins taught us a hit record is good, but having a hit show, you'll be able to eat. a long
That's
time.
Right.
If you keep your show hit, a hit. You know what I mean? And these artists don't have that. They don't have that mentor. They don't have them people to teach them that, because the assembly line is basically forever going. If you can't give it to me, I'm gonna go find somebody who can. And then, if you notice, back in the day, when they sign an artist like the Delphonics or Stylistics or any of them kind of cats, they kept recording and putting out music till they got a hit record.
Absolutely.
They just kept doing it. They just kept doing it. They just kept on putting out records and kept putting out records and kept doing it, because they believed in the Stylistics and they believed in that sound. They said, well, we're going to get one. Just be patient. And it wasn't about, it didn't happen the first time. It didn't happen the second time, so we're done. It's a wrap for you, buddy.
Yep.
And you destroyed lives like that. You destroyed people and you destroyed lives. And that's why you hear about so much turmoil after the fact. You might hear some turmoil from 112 or from As Yet or from Day 26. You hear little bitty turmoil stories about these cats because they can't eat. They can't get to their next meal because nobody taught them and nobody gave them no meaty music. Nobody gave them nothing meaningful so that they can sustain their livelihood and at least be able to eat. I'm so blessed, man, to be with the OJs, because the OJs, like you said earlier, the OJs have timeless music, and it resonates today. Whatever we sing, people relate to it to this very day.
Indeed.
Backstabbers ain't nothing but haters. They ain't nothing. That's all. Backstabbers, they're just haters.
No doubt.
Everything is for the love of money.
That's right.
Is for the love of money.
That's right. True that.
Everything.
Eric Nolan of the OJs is my guest on All Legacy Access, brought to you by CBSRadio.com. Also, and let me ask you this, because you brought up something that was important. You basically, a lot of the names that you threw out there and the quest to eat, like you said, it's because of the timeless music that the OJs created that, a lot of people haven't taught, others in order to grow their brand, I guess you could say, in a lot of ways. But, is it more or less, do you feel like the fan base is not as appreciative as they should to not just the current music, but also to, legendary music as well? Because I kind of see it like this. I asked that question, and I'm going to follow it up with a statement, because I feel like in a lot of ways, like, we take, artists for granted on occasion based on nowadays people can be able to just go find music online. Like, it wasn't like us going to Tower Records or going to the record store like we used to back in the day. Finding music was a journey as opposed to now where it's given to us so easy. So what do you think about just some of that? Like, do some of the artists and the fans appreciate it like they once did, or do they just find it as easy access now as opposed to how it used to be?
I'm going to answer it two ways. One, if you don't have nothing to compare it to, then you can't appreciate it. Because you don't have anything to compare.
There you go.
You can look at your top 30. You can look at your top 30 and you don't even have a meaningful singing group in the top 30. Okay? So we're right back to the assembly line again. So everybody wants it so fast, and they want it right now. Everybody want to be an instant success right now. The companies want you to be an instant success. The producer wants you to be an instant success. The artist wants to be an instant success because they can get the money now. They don't think about later on. They don't think about 2020. They're thinking about 2015. I want it now. So so this producer is going to give it to you because the company is pressuring him, and I need it now. So now once you get it, it's only one song. Once you get it, it's only one record. So if you don't get the second one, you're done. So when you glorify mediocrity, then you cheat the public because the public don't have nothing to compare it to.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? Because they brainwash to say that we're old school. So they're not going to compare the young cats, 20, 21, 22, to the Jays, to the Temps, to the Westburners, to Dramatics. They're not going to compare them to them because they're considered old school. See
True.
what I'm saying? So
True.
this is what's new. But when your newness is mediocre, then how can you appreciate it? You know what I'm saying?
So Eric, you can't.
This person sound like that.
So Eric, I was just gonna say real quick. So Eric, you can't really go on tour with one hit though, right? You can't go on tour and do. You know what I mean? Like you can't go on tour with one song.
and you know what they do? You know what winds up happening? They go out there with those 1 and 2 hits, and they ask for all this money, and then the fans go out there and they get disappointed, and they don't know why they're disappointed.
Mhm.
They don't know even know why. They don't even know why. They thought they think these people were supposed to do that one song for 30 minutes.
That's right.
I mean, I've seen it happen, so man. Right. I mean, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. It's real quick. When we went to Jack the Rapper, we were the last Jack the Rapper that was in Miami. When we went to Jack the Rapper, Drew Hill was flying. It was the best thing out. It was because Jodeci had their run, Boyz II Men did their thing. Now it was about Drew Hill. I swear to God, it's a true story. I don't when you interview me, I don't mind giving names, because if it's a lie, then you don't get names. So
that's right.
So Drew Hill was flying. They was flying. So we wanted to do a tour. We wanted to do a tour with Jesse Powell, Drew Hill, OJ's, and Frankie Beverly and Mays. That was the tour we was trying to put together. Drew Hill's manager said to us, Drew Hill can't go on tour with y'all. And we were like, wow, that's the hottest group. Them boys is cold. We liked them. We thought they was the greatest thing. We thought they was one of the greatest groups out there. We love Cisco. We liked Drew Hill. They said, because if I put them on stage with you, you would show them how it's supposed to go, and people wouldn't be so much in love with my group as they was. Right now, they think Drew Hill can fly.
Wow.
And if I put them on stage with you guys, they'll see that they just an ordinary group, because you guys can fly. Gotcha. He said to us in our dressing room. That's the honest to God truth. You can quote me on it. And we didn't look at it like that. We looked at it like it would be a great package if we could sell out arenas. We looked at it because Drew Hill was that hot. They were that hot. And we felt like, see, this is how Eddie and Walt, and they taught me this. I always had it in me, but to hear two guys on that level talk like this solidified how I thought. They said it like this. Right. It would be good. It would be good, clean fun. Good competition from an old school standpoint to a new school standpoint, to keep us on our toes with some guys that they love. So Drew Hill come out there and do their thing. It keeps us on our toes to keep us better. That's how we looked at it. Wow. So you know who they wind up putting on that tour with us? Next. Who's this? Are you serious? It was Next. Are you serious? Okay. Yeah, it was us. Okay. It was us, Jesse Powell, Next, and Frankie Beverly and Mays. That was the tour. Wow. And you mentioned, and Eric, you mentioned a story like that, and and the management they made a call. Now, in my opinion, it may not have been the right call, because to me, like, even though their opinions, as far as the fans might look at it like a certain way, and it may be true, but at the same time, like, if I was on a ticket with the OJs, are you serious? Like, I would stay on that ticket, and I would not leave that ticket, period, because to me it's just one of those situations where I need to learn and soak up as much game as I can from legendary guys like you guys, and that would be the start of a friendship that you guys would have. You guys could have went on multiple tours, and y'all could have did multiple collaborations, and it could have still been all good. Like, stuff like that. When I hear stuff like that, Eric, it makes me think, like, because I always look at music and the artists that you guys are more like a brotherhood. It's more like a union in a lot of ways. Like,
y'all got to stay unified in order for it to grow. Like, if you guys are able to you guys can do more together than apart. So, I always look at it like that. So when you have people with strategic moves like that don't make sense, let's keep it solid. It just don't make sense. So, it trips my mind out to hear stuff like that. But a lot of people call as a business move, but it wasn't a good one, in my opinion.
No, Eddie and Walter told me that when the Temps, when they had David Ruffin and Paul Williams and Eddie Kendricks and Otis and Melvin, they told me that the Temps used to kick their butts nightly. And they told me that was the best thing ever happened to them because they knew they had to go in the shed and get tighter and get better and to try to combat with the temptation. So Eddie told me he would sit in the wings and watch them every night. He said, and then he would go and watch James Brown. Every time James Brown came around, he said he would watch and sit in the wings. And he would steal stuff from James Brown. He would steal stuff from the Temps. He would steal stuff from Jackie Wilson. He told me, and then that's how he became Eddie Levert. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I told RL and Tweet. I told both of those cats. I said, if it was me in y'all group, I would be in the wings every single night to see the OJs. It's three of you guys. If it was me, I would be in the wings every night to see what them old men are doing, and how are they making these people scream like this? How are they getting these reactions out of these people? And I would be learning from them. I told them.
How are those people singing my songs along with me? How are they singing these songs along with me in the crowd? And the crowd is just singing it like they wrote it themselves, and have that pad like. Come on, like, I haven't seen you guys perform yet. I know you guys are going to do the Soul Train cruise, so we'll talk about that off air later because I definitely want to make sure that we communicate offline. But just from what I hear and what I heard my mom like back in the day, and you guys have that energy, and there's a lot of groups that do bring that fire like you guys too. But every song that's sung and every step that's been done, like it's done with a lot of passion, and you guys got to be commended. And when you have stories like that and people talk about certain things, I just feel like this, Eric, like a lot of us need to continue to add on to the legacy that is the OJs and Eric Nolan, and it's just a beautiful thing to be a part of because music is a solid foundation where people can come together. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. I think and to add on what you're saying, Eddie and Walter are so incredibly competitive. So when they go on stage, the eye of the tiger. They go on stage with fire in their eyes. No matter who's on the show, no matter if Eddie. I saw Eddie do an entire concert, man. I've seen him do an entire show in Brooklyn, New York. And if the people out in Brooklyn, New York is listening to this, they can contest to this. I saw Eddie do a complete entire 75-minute concert with no voice. He didn't make an excuse. He didn't say, I'm under the weather and I can't really hit. He didn't say anything. He came out there. He said, I asked him, I said, Eddie, how come you didn't tell him that you lost your voice, right before the show? And he said, because the people didn't pay to hear an excuse. He said people came pay, and I was blown away. Away. I thought that was one of the coldest things I ever seen in my entire life of being in the entertainment business. To watch this man grind it out with almost like a whisper, whisper in his voice. And he put on a show the same way he would have done when he had a full voice. And when I asked him that question, he said, because they didn't pay to hear an excuse. I thought that was the coldest thing I ever heard any entertainer say, man. I done heard entertainers say, I'm under the weather, and I can't really hit the high notes, and excuse me, people. And I done heard almost every entertainer say it.
Right.
Not Eddie Levert. He never said it, man. He never said it. And they come on stage. They bring everything. They leave everything on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do no shortcuts. I've seen Eddie Levert perform with screws in his ankles.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him perform with screws in his ankles, like on a crutch and a chair.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I got so much admiration for those two guys, man, because I've seen it. Walt performs every single night with MS. He performed every single night with MS. And at the time, and at one time it was real bad. It was getting real bad to where he had to. We would put a big ice bucket on stage with the rag in there, and between. When he get a break in between songs, he would have to take the cold rag, and put it on his head to keep his head cool so he wouldn't pass out.
Right.
And he'd do the whole show, 75 minutes, by any means necessary.
And you talk about the sacrifices that you guys put out there. Like, a lot of people don't know certain things like that. So it's like, when you put it into perspective, it's like, I always feel anytime you guys do music, you're giving us your gift. But, when you out there performing and you might have certain situations going on medically, or, you might have just had a bad day, or you might have a situation where it's just, it just wasn't a good day for whatever reason. But for the simple fact that you guys come out there and put a show on and perform, you guys got to be commended for that too.
I've seen people cancel shows for that, man. I've seen people cancel for that.
Absolutely.
I've seen them not show up. I've seen them not even come in the building for less.
That's right.
Seen them do it.
That's right. That's right.
And
you got to be commended.
There's another guy. There's another guy that comes from that school. Not saying that the other guys don't, but Charlie Wilson comes from the same school by any means necessary.
Yes, sir.
Charlie Wilson's the exact same way. He comes from that brand, from that school, from up under the Eddie Leverts and the Temptations and those kind of cats, that does it by any means necessary. And so he brings all of that on stage with him. I mean, we've had battles. We've had blood-curdling battles. Us and Charlie Wilson. I mean, it's fun. When we get over with, we sit and we talk about it. We'll say, "You got us tonight." Like Charlie Wilson put a whipping on us in Atlanta, Georgia, on January the 2nd. I'll never forget it. January the 2nd, he put a whooping on us that you would not believe. But when we got him to Memphis, and then from Memphis, we got hold of him in Savannah, Georgia. Oh, yeah. See, and that's what we do. That's what we do, man. We make each other better.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Somebody like a Drew, like a Drew Hill and those kind of cats, he wouldn't have ever made it better. And then been able to sustain now. Because Drew Hill has so many hit records, they should be working now.
Exactly.
They should be working right now. They should be working, doing somebody tours right now. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. When you don't have nothing to compare it to, it's hard to say that the public is being cheated because they don't know any better. They don't know nothing else. They don't even know where to go get it from.
Very true. Yep. Amen to that. All Legacy Access with guest Eric Nolan of the legendary OJs. I'm going to take a couple of calls, and we're also going to play your song Cologne, which is out, available right now. People can pick it up. Let me go ahead and take the call from Denai out in Chi-Town. You are mic'd up and on. All Legacy Access with Eric Nolan of the OJs. Denai, what's up?
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Mr. Nolan. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm blessed, thank you. So one of the main questions I had was, when did you just know that music was for you? Some people kind of like, I have a backup plan or whatever. I can tell by your passion, you knew this is what you wanted to do. You knew you wanted to make an impact. The OJs have impacted the world. I don't know if people understand. You have not seen a movie, you have not seen a TV show without hearing an OJ's song. I don't know if people get
Amen to that.
But when did you just know that this is what you wanted to do, despite everything else, because we know how the entertainment business is. how did you know this is what you wanted to do for the rest of your life?
Well, my mama called me a bum. my mama told me I was gonna be a bum. You know why? Because I didn't have a backup plan. She would always tell me, you need to have a backup plan. You ain't gonna be able to sing. One in every million makes it. And she went on and on. You're gonna be a bum. So I knew this is what I wanted to do. And I used to put a chair next to her table, and that would be that would be my way to get on stage. So when she would go to work, because my mother was a beautician, when she would go to work, I would step up on that chair and get on her table, and that would be my stage, and I would be doing the James Brown at 5 and 6 years old, 7 years old. I was doing the James Brown, tearing her table up. I used to get so many whoopings, it was incredible. So that's how I knew. I knew that's what I wanted to do. I knew that, I ate, slept, and drank it. And when I was, like I was saying earlier about Horny or Craft, I knew every single artist that ever came on the radio. Every one. I never planned on being like in the OJs, so I never planned on being in a group with somebody who had already made it. I had planned on having a group to take their place and try to make it with my group. So I knew I needed to do the history. So, but to say that, I'm saying that to say this: if the stylists had a call, if the Dramatics, if the Intruders, if Hell Melton and the Blue Note, if any group had called me, I would have knew their music verbatim.
Wow.
Because I was just that much of a student of music. Blue Magic, from Blue Magic to, it didn't matter. The Isley Brothers, it just did not matter. I knew everybody and everything. That's where I was at. I mean, and one of my favorite groups of all time. One of my favorite groups of all time is the Whispers, and the Temptations, and I got a chance to be with both of them and know those guys and pick their brains, and they have the same type of story I got. They knew all of the music.
There you go.
That is definitely
being a student of music is definitely I think we all take a piece of our life history and we can put a soundtrack to it. And I guarantee you'll have a handful of OJ songs mixed in with a handful of other songs from other artists as well that, withstands the test of time. It's just the way it is. Let me take one more call from Mr. Young Army out there in 203, mic'd up and on, all Legacy Access with Eric Nolan of the OJs. Army, what's up, sir?
Legacy Access, man. What's up, man? Mr. Eric Nolan. How you doing, sir?
Hey, boss. How you doing? I'm good, man. How you doing?
Cool conversation. I'm hearing from y'all. I'm vibing, man. I'm honored, man, to be talking to somebody who's a part of such a legendary musical group such as the OJs. And, man, so I'm a young cat, man. I was born in the 90s, but I got an old soul. And growing up with my family, they always had that old school music playing. So, but weird story, man. It's a true story, too, man. It's kind of funny, but it's a true story, right? So now, back when I was 12, I caught myself falling in love and all this and that at 12 years old. So then when we broke up, so to speak, my mother, she had this CD of old school songs, like a burnt CD or whatever. So back then we didn't have iPods. It was still the Walkman and all that. So I got the Walkman, took that CD, put it in, and then I listened to them songs going to sleep. And then it was this one song by the OJs that I had on repeat that whole night. And the name of that song was Stairway to Heaven. And then since then I was an OJ head. I'm like, yo, this song right here, this the kicker. This is the kicker, you know what I mean? And now years later, man, I still bump a whole lot of the old school, like you guys, the Isley Brothers, the Manhattans, Bobby Womack. I listen to a little bit of everybody, man. But the OJ, man, I'm telling you, it's classic music. So don't ever think like the younger generation don't pay homage and don't listen to old school music. It's a lot of people like me who appreciate and who listen and get they vibe on to the old school. Because to me, like it wouldn't be no new school without the old school. It's a whole bunch of rappers, a whole bunch of instrumentals that sample off of so many old school songs that people don't even know. Like, it go right over their heads.
Right.
I mean, it go right over their heads. And I'll be like, damn, man, this is a sample from Bill Withers, or this is a sample from so-and-so. You don't even know it, like, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I'm definitely one of the ones who pay homage, and I'm glad to have this dialogue with you, man. I'm glad you're here chilling with us, and salute. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to share that with you.
Let me say this to you, bro. Now, when I speak on the younger generation not, being aware of, I'm really speaking of masses. I'm really speaking of like a mass, the masses of, people who love the Trey Songz and the Ushers and whatever. I forget Chris Brown, but what I know that younger people are appreciative of our music because we see them in the audience. We see them when we sell out a concert. Trust me, it's not a concert of 70 and 60 and 70-year-old people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's the grandmother, the mother and father, and their kids.
And the kid, yeah.
Right.
I was in Detroit, Michigan. I'll never forget this. I was in Detroit, Michigan. We played the state fair, and there was a little girl. Couldn't have been nothing but 12 years old, 13 years old. Sat there in the front row and sung every song verbatim.
Amen to that.
Everything that Eddie Levert did. And everything, all the stuff we sung, she was right there with him. He had to stop the show to acknowledge this little girl. Couldn't have been 12 or 13 years old. Couldn't have been 12 or 13 years old, man. I'll never forget it as long as I live. And matter of fact, I know the little girl right now. She lives in Atlanta, Georgia now, and I know her. We became really, really cool, and she's like a little sister to me. But I didn't know her that well before that show. And she said her mother was a DJ in Detroit who did a dance show in Detroit, and that's all they played was OJs and the Motowns and all that. But the OJs was very much a part of their household. You know what I mean? And that little girl sung every. So I know exactly what you're saying because I see it in the audience every night, man. We go out there, man, and you see people out there 19, 20 years old, man, and you be like, wow. Wow, and they dancing to this stuff and kicking it to stuff like the music just came out. So,
Eric, we have and Eric, real quick.
Thanks.
And Eric, real quick, let me say this: that I feel like and you heard what this young man Army said, that he was 12 and he was gravitated to certain songs, and I know we have that in our kids, the appreciation of it. We just need it to be more like, I feel like it's there, but it should be also, it should be brought out more. Like we should embrace it more. We should get to the point where, it should be easy. Like, I'm out here in the Bay Area, so I would love to have the OJs come down and just tear up the Bay Area and just, and just let it be known. Like it can just be a global, widespread and Army. I know you're in Connecticut, so it's like, I just need everybody that's listening right now from different states, and the blessing that we're online because we can get different states and overseas. And shout out to 92.3 The Beat in Japan who loves y'all. Like, there's so many people out there of different age, race, culture, whatever, that gravitates to this kind of music. So I'm just saying, like, if y'all want these OJs, reach out, spread the word, and just make sure that people understand that this is classic moments that you get only not just through music, but this interview right here. Like, I mean, you tearing it up just by you talking, Eric. That's how you get down.
Hey man, listen, we sell out the Concord Pavilion every time we come. That's almost like a second home to us when we play out there, in Oakland and San Francisco. When we play Concord Pavilion, you can't get a seat.
No
Every
doubt.
single time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
They up there in Oakland, they come suited and booted. You know what I mean?
Come on, Eric. You know how we do. You know how we do up here, man. You know. You know how we do up here, Eric.
They still coming with goblins. They coming with goblins in the whole.
You know how we do up here in the Bay. You know what we do up here.
I see them dudes, man. They got their matching goblins, man, and I'm like, how did you get the material off of your suit on your shoes? I'm like, man.
Hey man, you know what they do. A couple more quick questions with Eric Nolan of the legendary OJs on All Legacy Access. I'm gonna put this in before we play, Cologne, and before we let you go after a couple of questions. Solo music. This single has been out for a while, and like I said earlier, this single is catching fire based on the music that you putting out. This right here, like when people hear it tonight, we're gonna play it a couple times on the show tonight. It's just one of those songs that's just like, okay, it's gonna tug on your heartstrings. It's gonna make you feel a certain way. So, let the people know a little bit about the single, and if there's any, future, full-length albums that's coming out solo from you, sir.
Oh, bruh. Listen, let me tell you something. The single was just released like about 3 or 4 weeks ago, but the CD had been out. I released the CD. See, I didn't really quite know what I was doing when I released the CD because I started my own record label. So I'm dealing with old school mentality. I'm dealing with an old school mentality about just cutting it and putting it out, not realizing that, nowadays that it's a newer approach to it. You know what I'm saying? I put out a single. I was not prepared that Sirius XM was going to start playing it, so I never had a video to it. So that's why everything is kind of like a low in it. So I released Reminds Me first. Got a lot of action off of Reminds Me, but everything was so delayed because I didn't know it was going to get played. I didn't know that they was going to choose this song. You know what I mean? And then I released I Miss You because I wanted people to see that I had a jazzy side. But when I did Cologne was more for. It was more about it was for the guys, but it was more about the woman. And when I say that, I know I'm straddling the fence. But when I say that, it's like this. Men know what I'm talking about when a woman makes that phone call to them and they say, you know what, I smell like you. You got me smelling like you. Now there's only one way you could have smelled like me. So now what I did was I went back to my old school roots. I went back to my old school root of how do I talk about this type of, love making and ecstasy and all this passion without saying let me pull it down and let me lift you up and then while doing all that. Because I come from an era. I come from an era where we could say, in between the sheets, and we could say, just let me make love to you, and if you just say yes, and you know what I'm saying, it was just my imagination. See, we come from that era where you had to use your head and listen to them lyrics, and then it gets everybody, kind of bothered when you listen to the lyrics. You're like, woo, yeah, baby, listen to this. This is what I'm trying to say to you. And of course, saying, let me knock them boots. I didn't come from that. And then what I also did, the entire CD, the CD is called Mood Swing. And the reason why it's called Mood Swing is because every single song was a different mood. I'm a Cancer, so I'm moody. So every time I went in the studio, I was in a different mood to do different type of music. And I said it earlier that I only learned one way how to cut music, and that's with a live band. I used the live band for the entire album. I used live horns. I used live strings. I used live organ. I used real Fender Rhodes. It's not no patch. Guitars, percussion, everything is live. I had them on 3 of them songs. I had them all playing in the same room together. I had everybody playing together in the same room, like they used to do back in Philadelphia and Motown.
Absolutely.
That's the only way I know how to cut. I don't know no other way to cut. So that's the essence that you get from a song like Cologne. This is all live, man. I took this idea from like Donny Hathaway when they would do like What's Going On and stuff like that. So I wanted to do something with just a piano and a percussion player, and that's it. Just something real cool and sultry. And that's how I came up with it. You know what I'm saying? I wear cologne every day, and a lady did say that to me one time. She did call me and say, you know, I smell just like you. You're gonna get me in some trouble. But the ironic thing was we were just dancing. We was at a club. We was at a club and we were just slow dancing. And she went home and she smelled like me. And my partner, Deshaun Champion, I know, right? So my partner, Deshaun, it happened to him also. So we just wrote about it, man. We just wrote about it.
Hey, Eric, come on, man. You know those moments, like, you know, everybody had those moments where, like, you know, you dancing or you doing whatever, and, like, you know, you hold your hand up and you smell like, you know, the lady you was with, or vice versa. The lady smell like, you know, the man's cologne, and, you know, it just take you back. You just reminisce, like, you know, and then you want to hold on to it a little bit longer before you take a shower, so you put your hand a little bit closer to your nose just so you can smell that moment, just for that moment.
You already know.
That moment.
You already know. You already know. You already know.
You already know, exactly.
I already knew what you were talking about when you said it.
Come on, Eric. But you know what? Hey, but that's what this track Cologne does for the listener. So if people that's gonna listen to it in a little while, if y'all hearing it for the first time, definitely go pick it up. And Eric, where can they go get this project you have out? Is it available now for people to go get?
Yes, sir. Mood Swing is on Amazon.com and iTunes. And I think it's on Spotify, and they said I got another. What's there on? I don't know where I'm at, man. Pandora, yeah. I'm on Pandora. Also, I got a station on Pandora. Yep.
Pandora, iTunes, Spotify. You can get it all over right there. Amazon. And all they got to do, too, absolutely, and make sure you go ahead and Google, and I just did it as well. Just Google Eric Nolan of the OJ's Mood Swings, and boom, it's right there for people to go ahead and pick up and grab.
Right here.
And it's important for people, y'all just go support this guy, not just because, you know, he is a legendary OJ guy, but he has some you know, up and coming legendary solo music that people can be able to replay in their homes. Cologne is one of them. Trust me, I'm just telling you. Mood Swings, I'm gonna go make sure I go pick up. But you know, hey man, this Cologne track, man, come on, man, that's that jam though, man. I'm just saying.
I did it on purpose, man. We did that one on purpose.
And I love you for that, man. That's cute. As we get ready to wrap, thank you, man. Not just for coming on, and you got so many people giving so much love. Emails, everything is on fire, and I just need y'all to just not just support the OJ legacy, but also support Eric Nolan and his solo project, which is available now. If you go pick it up, Google it. It is there for you to go grab. And just, you know, and I know y'all, and if anybody want to know the tour dates and stuff like that, just make sure y'all hit up my spot, Nexxlegacy.com, and it has the tour dates for the OJs. And Eric, we'll talk offline about the Soul Train one y'all got coming up soon. So, man, like, no problem, as we get ready to wrap and get ready to play Cologne, man, I appreciate you for giving us timeless music, man, and new classics like Cologne. I'm telling you, that's gonna be my favorite one, man. Come on, that's gonna be it.
I can't wait to hear it.
That's gonna be it.
I appreciate it. I just want to. Hey, I'm just trying to bring that real music back to the game, man. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't think real music is missing. I just think like we talked about earlier. I just think they don't have nothing to compare it to. And if I can make a mark, then they'll have something to compare it to. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna make it rough for them now. I promise you, I'm gonna make it real rough for them. You know, and if I can, and I'm telling you, if I get a hit record, or when I get a hit record, you know, Kim, I hope you're listening. You got problems. We gonna have problems.
Hey, and you know what? We gonna call them out. Hey, for real, exactly. And we gonna make sure we get Cologne and some of these other ones off this album. Like, we gonna get it in people's faces and ears, so people can just be like, "Hey, did you hear this one by Eric Nolan?" Like, we gonna make sure we get that out there. So that's gonna be the mission, man. And you know what? And I'm in closing. Yes, sir. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you're doing and how you're trying to, get me out to the masses. I really, really, really. Seriously, man. I've said this before. I've interviewed someone down in the Bay Area, but I've said it before. I really want to play Yoshi's, man. I really want to play that place so bad. I want to play Yoshi so bad, man. Hey, I swear. Well, you know what? I just want to mean something. I just want to mean something to the area. You know what I mean? I want people to be familiar with the music, so that when I come there and I perform the music, they know what I'm singing, and it don't sound like foreign music to them. You know what I mean? I always wanted to play Yoshi, but I always wanted to play Yoshi's. You know what I mean? I mean to this day. And Eric, we're gonna have to collaborate and make that happen, sir. We're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to make that happen. I hope so, man. I've even the Whispers band is down there. And they've even said, man, if you play Yoshi's, we'll come play for you. You ain't got to fly your band in. We'll just come there and we'll just play for you. Nice. Automatic connect right there. So, that's nothing but a collaboration, Mr. Nolan. So we're gonna have to make that happen. Between you and I and the powers that be, we're gonna change the way things are done. And it could be done, man. So we gotta not just stay connected, but not just through music, but also like I just love the fact that No, of course. We got to stay connected. We got to stay connected, man, because you said it earlier. You said that the strength is in numbers. It don't happen where one person is over here and one person is over there. You have to be together. Absolutely. And you have to make an alliance. Sir. And you know what I'm saying, and build a coalition. And that way you can get more things done together. You know what I'm saying? So. Exactly. Like I said earlier, I just want them to know what I'm singing. You know what I'm saying? I want to come out there, ladies and gentlemen, Eric Nolan. I don't know what this dude's singing. No doubt, man. Like, hey, before it's all said and done, they definitely gonna know Cologne, though. That's all I gotta say. But they gonna know other songs too, but they definitely gonna know Cologne. That's for sure. But man, we're gonna stay connected. I appreciate you for everything you're doing. Make sure you pass it back over to the fellas and let them know that over here we definitely love them and we appreciate everything. OJ's legends, and not just that, but just stand-up guys who's doing stand-up movements to not just solidify their music legacy, but inspiring other people like us, not just this station, but other people, not just the callers and the listeners, but people that's big fans of good, timeless music, and you guys are providing that. So much love to you, Eric, and the OJs, and pass that on to the rest of the fellas as well. Promise you I will. You got it. Appreciate it, Mr. Eric Nolan of the OJs. And without further ado, y'all want it, Cologne?
Nexxlegacy.